What is going on, people? This is episode 629 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And training camp begins. The unofficial beginning of the football season starts for the Falcons. That's what I think is the unofficial beginning, is when training camp starts. And we're going to talk about a few things. Some speculation here that I'm going to put out there. Not much going on with training camp because it's the first day, but from what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, everything looks pretty sharp. But there are some concerns I want to talk about. I'm going to get into that. Some things that I'm not really concerned about as well. But we're going to get into all of that because it's going to be an exciting time. And I want to try to find my way down to training camp sometime, between now and the end of August. I want to go to at least one of them and see what they got going on, since I am in the Atlanta area now. So hopefully that'll work out. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Stitcher will be going away within, I think, next month, as a matter of fact, in August. So you might want to check that out if you're listening on Stitcher. Find your way over to the Apple or Spotify or Google Podcast. And if you guys are over there, give me a 5-star rating, man. I really appreciate the support for you guys over. The guys over there on the podcast side are killing it. These guys are killing it. They are really showing love and support. Not to say nothing about the YouTube and Rumble guys. You guys are great as well. Hit that like button and show that you can give that same energy so we can all continue to grow, and we all continue to make this podcast one of the better podcasts when it comes to Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. I can be found on Twitter /X as VF Baller, and my website. You go check out the website. It is firstandframerates.com. You can go over there and check everything out over there where we have the episodes of the podcast, and you can help support the podcast over there as well. Let's go ahead and get into this. Training camp. What is there to talk about? What is going on with the Falcons? Not much, really. Desmond Ridder is the official, QB1, and his reign officially starts today. So a lot of things that's been speculative about him. We had few people say some good things, some people say some bad things, but they don't really know how to read this kid. And one thing about that is, there a lot of people are really trying to hang on to what the Falcons had. You've seen the Michael Vick era, you've seen the Matt Ryan era. In some cases, you did see some glimmers of Matt Schaub do well with the Falcons, but outside of those three guys, we really didn't have a quarterback. The Joy Arrington days and Byron Leftwich days come to mind. But when you start to look at Desmond Ridder, he's a little bit different because, he's the 3rd round pick. So people are going to look at him kind of weird. The only thing I can say is just give the kid a chance. Give him a chance to do something and see where he can go with it. I think he deserves a shot at QB1. That doesn't mean he's going to get it, but he deserves a shot at it. So we'll see how that plays out. Calais Campbell is on the non-football injury list. I don't think this is nothing. I think Coach Arthur Smith even said this in a brief press conference, that he said it's not much that they expect him to be back, a little bit later than others. He's a veteran. Dude's been playing for 16 years now. I don't really expect him to be too much of anything when it comes to actually, doing this type of work, as far as training camp practices and whatever. I think he'll be there, but I don't think he's going to be doing too much physical stuff. So with him having a non-football related injury, I'm not saying that he's not injured, but to me, I kind of expected something like this when you have a veteran coming in that played that many years. I don't expect him to do too much movement when it comes to actually, practicing and stuff. A couple of guys that I'm actually, surprised that are still here. Jalen Mayfield, he's been playing a little bit of right tackle. I talked about that a few months ago, that they'll probably move him to right tackle. And Frank Darby, both of those guys have been, pretty much very disciplined as far as trying to get things done with the team. Like, if whatever they need of them, they're there. But unfortunately, it hasn't shown up as much success on the field. One thing I will say, Desmond Ridder was able to get the ball to Frank Darby last year, which was actually interesting because Frank Darby doesn't see much, playing time, which I think that I always felt that he could be a hidden gem for this team, but you just never seen it. And Jalen Mayfield, the jury's out on Jalen Mayfield. They don't think he should be holding up a roster spot at this point. They think that at the end of the day, he needs to go and find something else to do. with Caleb McGarry being the starting right tackle, I don't know what fits in for Jalen Mayfield. Probably just for depth, which is cool. I don't have a problem with that. Um, as far as long as he can do whatever he can to try to make something happen if need be, if he needs to come out and play or whatever the case may be, it'll be cool. But I mean, you can't go wrong with depth, right? So Carlos Washington is another person that I really haven't talked about much. He's a running back for the Atlanta Falcons. He's at training camp today. I need to put some more effort into seeing what he's about, because especially with Caleb Huntley's not on the team anymore. Carlos Washington Jr., I don't know much about him. I will be looking into what type of running back he is, because the running back position is kind of full right now. I mean, you got Algier, you got Robinson. Those guys, they're going to be in the backfield next year. Cordell Patterson's going to be a little bit everywhere. And then you got Carlos Washington. What type of running back is he? I don't know much. I know some people will probably tell me in the comment section on YouTube or Rumble, let me know what type of guy he is. But I need to do some more analysis to really look at what's going on with him. Outside of that, everything else looks good. Kyle Pitts did not really, he didn't really put in any work for training camp the first day, but they say he's about 100% ready to go. I don't expect him to do too much. He'll probably have some off the record drills with Desmond Ridder. Like they'll probably get some rhythm together to try to feel each other out, throw some footballs back and forth to each other. I expect them to do that. So that's going to be really interesting to see how training camp goes down the road, where they just string him along to bring him in a little bit later, like maybe like after the third day of training camp, you start seeing him move a little bit. By August, mid-August, what would you see then? I think training camp is all the way to like August 26th or something. I can't remember, but I need to figure out what days they are, because I do want to go to at least one. But you would probably see it like later on down the road when they get closer to preseason. You will see Kyle Pitts will probably start doing more what is needed to be done of him. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that all plays out at the end of the day. But other than that, it's not much really to hang your hat on here. A lot of guys are really just showing up, putting in work. Love to see it, because this is the new era, guys. This really is. This is really like the beginning of a new era. It's the first year that the cap space is pretty much, is available. The first 2 years, there was working things out. I mean, technically it's not the first year, but with Matt Ryan and didn't have cap space, then Mariota, then you didn't have cap space, and now you got cap space, and they're moving guys in that fit the mold of the type of football team they want. So this is like the beginning of a new era now. It starts now, and the day that training camp begins is the day that everything starts. So now I'm really gonna be like really tuned in. I know Georgia Southern just had their Sun Belt Media Day, but I'm probably talk about that tomorrow, because there's a lot of Q&A, that stuff that we kind of know already, and not much to really go on. I can't wait till they can start their practices, because that's another thing I really want to home in on, because they transformed their team as well. But with the Falcons, it's a big transformation here. New quarterback, you got new defensive scheme, different players. You don't have much that's here that's really different. I mean, that's the same from last year. There's a lot of things that's going to be different, a lot of things. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out. At the end of the day, how excited are you? I don't, just like I said, you just don't have much else to say. I mean, how much excited are you? Because for me, I'm very excited. I think that this is going to be the next 10, 12. This is what I really feel. Next 10 to 12 years of the Falcons era is right in front of us. Right in front of us. I feel that Arthur Smith is going to be a very long term. Does that mean that they're going to be like extremely successful and win Super Bowls? I don't know. But I think Arthur Smith can do enough to be competitive to where it's very hard for him to, let's say, lose his job. It's just something about him is way different than it was from Dan Quinn or the guys who was before him. I mean, it kind of gives me like the Mike Smith type of vibe, but not necessarily like Mike Smith. I think he's a more, I think he's a little bit more assertive and a little bit more direct. And I think he has more of an expanded mind when it comes to football more than Mike Smith. But as far as stability and job security, I'm getting those Mike Smith vibes. Well, Mike Smith's been here for a good little while and done some things, but I feel like he's going to be there a little bit longer because of he's actually doing something that other coaches really wasn't able to do as much as he has. I mean, like I said, when Dan Reeves was here, they had Michael Vick, and you saw how that played out. And then when Mike Smith came, and you had Matt Ryan, and you kind of see how but when you saw Dan Reeves with Chris Chandler to Michael Vick, kind of started to see the decline. But when you started to see the whole situation with Mike Smith with Matt Ryan, you kind of saw there was some type of foundation there. But I don't think it's going to be as big as it was here. I think this is going to be a little bit more of what we've been looking for as fans. So I'm really excited about it. Not sure where it's going to go, but I think he's going to be here for the long run. Like I said, this is a new era we're probably going to see for the next 7. In my opinion, I think next 7 to 10 years, I don't see Mike. I will be extremely surprised. I'm not saying that he will be, but I'll be extremely surprised. Something real drastic has to happen if Arthur Smith, end up losing his job over this team, because it looks like he has everything on point. First 2 years, you went 7-10 with basically, not even half of what you wanted. Now you're starting to get what you want. I see this team winning at least 10 games, and they're going to continuously be competitive for the next 5, 7, 10 years. This is just my gut feeling. Am I wrong? It could be. I mean, everybody's wrong at some time, right? I mean, nobody's perfect when they're talking about certain takes, but that's just a gut feeling I have. But enough of that. I think I said enough. I rambled a little bit. Let me know what you guys think. How do you guys feel about training camp? If you like this commentary, the like button and share this podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think about the first day of training camp. Not much here. Few things to talk about, but it wasn't anything to elaborate on. I do like the fact that, these guys look like they're ready to go. Kyle Pitts look like he's 100%. I still have concerns about Darby and Mayfield. I mean, we've been having this discussion for the last couple of years now. Calais Campbell, I don't think it's nothing to worry about. And like I said, I'm going to look at this running back Washington. I'm really going to look at him because I'm kind of curious about what he brings to the table. Is he going to make the team? And if he does, where he fits in? Because you got 2 prominent running backs right now, to be honest. Just let me know, man. If you like this commentary, like I said, like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll be found on YouTube and Rumble, also on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts. I am on Twitter /X at VFBaller, and the website is firstandfriendrace.com. All right, y'all. I will see you guys on Friday. Yes, it's going to be Friday already. Time just, oh no, I'm sorry. It's Thursday. I'm tripping. Still, the weeks flew by pretty fast. I'm one step ahead, though. I'm thinking it's Friday. All right, y'all. Thursday's coming up, and I'll be back with another episode. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.